But tonight I want to talk to you about the meaning of your life. Listen, from the moment you were born, you've been on a quest, searching for something. What it is you're searching for isn't exactly clear, but you've been wanting to find the meaning of your life. It's been said there are two things that are true of every person. We all want to be happy, and we're all going to die. And it's true, we're all searching for some kind of meaning, some kind of purpose. A philosopher named Hugh Moorhead from a major university once wrote to 250 of the best-known philosophers, scientists, writers, and intellectuals in the world, and he said, what is the meaning of life? Some offered their best guesses. Some admitted they just made up a purpose for life. Others were honest enough to say they were clueless. In fact, a number of the people he wrote him asking if he had figured out the meaning of life. And that's how it is today. A lot of times it's the blind following the blind. We're waiting for the rock stars or the hip-hop stars or the movie stars or the celebrities to show us the meaning of life. But then we see how empty all of their lives are. And then we wonder, what am I even living for? Why am I here? Maybe you've come here tonight and you've had suicidal thoughts. You've been so down, so depressed, you've actually considered taking your life. And for others here, you've spent a lot of time searching and you haven't found any answers. Life seems to be going by so quickly. It's been said that there are 4 stages to our life. Stage number 1, you believe in Santa Claus. Stage number 2, you don't believe in Santa Claus. Stage number 3, you become Santa Claus. And stage number 4, you look like Santa Claus. That's where I'm at right now. But we search for meaning. We search for purpose in life. Some try to find it in relationships. Others try to find it in sex. Others try to find it in possessions. Others try to find it in accomplishments. Even others try to find it through a fine education. Even others will try to find it through religion, church attendance. But you can be attending church and still be empty inside and wonder if you found life's meaning, and wonder if you will go to heaven when you die. Maybe you look to the movie stars for the answers. I read an interview with a very well-known actor. If I mentioned his name, you'd know who he was, and he made this statement, quote, a lot of people are just relationship junkies. You roll from relationship to relationship because you're afraid of being alone. When I was lonely, I would get into relationships just to alleviate the loneliness. You need something to fill the emptiness. It can be another person, drugs, prestige, or whatever. I've tried those things, he said. They don't do the trick. Eminem just came out with a brand new recording. And you look at his life and you think, man, that guy's got it all together. He's got all the money, all the women he would ever want. But here's what Eminem said in an interview not long ago, quote, I always wished and hoped for this, but it's almost turning into more of a nightmare than a dream. I can't even go out in public anymore. I've got the whole world looking at me. To be honest, I've not had much support from family and friends, just myself. Maybe some of you girls would think, well, what if I was as beautiful as Angelina Jolie? And I was married to Brad Pitt. The sad thing, some of you guys have thought, no, you haven't thought that. But here's the thing. Even Angelina Jolie, with all of her power, she was recently voted America's most powerful woman. She said this in an interview, I remember one of the most upsetting times of my life was after I had attained success and financial stability. I was in love and I thought, I have everything they say you should have to make you happy, and I'm not happy, end quote. Isn't it amazing? And you know what? I went on a search for meaning in my life at a very young age. My mom was a dead ringer for Marilyn Monroe, and she always had guys beating a quick path to her door. In fact, she was married and divorced 7 times. And I traveled the country with her in her search for meaning. My mom tried to find purpose in life through booze and through men, and men took advantage of her and used her and abused her. And in fact, I was conceived in a one-night stand out of wedlock. I was not planned at all, I can assure you of that. So I traveled life with my mom. We lived in California, we lived in Hawaii, we lived, by the way, in New Jersey. I lived in New Jersey before most of you were born. So I am a Jersey boy. Forget about it. But So she traveled around and all these relationships, finding nothing. And I had to grow up fast because I had to learn how to take care of myself, and I had to take care of my mom. I was like 8 years old, and I was having to make sure that, she would get home safely at night and that she would get fed, and I had to watch over her and care for her. And so I started asking the big questions of life, at a very early age. And by the ripe old age of 17, I felt like I was 70 already, because I had seen the emptiness of my mom's life, that I had my own little detour into partying and drugs myself. I experimented with a lot of the drugs that were out there in that day, and they just made me more aware of how empty I was. So for me, it was like a process of elimination. I thought, okay, the answer isn't in affluence. I see how empty my mom is. The answer isn't in sex. I've seen what it's done to her life. The answer isn't in booze and alcohol. It isn't in drugs. I've discovered that for myself. Where is the answer? It was like a process of elimination. On my high school campus, we had a group of really weird kids that we called the Jesus Freaks. They actually came to school carrying Bibles and talking about God like he was their next door neighbor or something. We thought that we're all collectively nuts. I thought that Jesus Freaks were all a few clowns short of a circus, you know what I'm saying? And I felt sorry for them. I'd say, look at those crazy, weird, religious people. Look at the stupid smiles on their faces and hugging one another and saying, love you, bro, and all this. What a bunch of hypocrites. What a bunch of liars. Too bad they can't be cynical and mean like me.
It's already been 9 minutes.
And then there was this girl. And she was really cute. But she wasn't the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. But there was something about this girl that was different than any other girl I'd ever seen before. And I saw one of my friends talking to her one day, and I thought, I'm going to go introduce myself to her. And I walked up there, and I'm waiting for a break in their conversation. And I'm looking there and noticing she has, her textbooks for class. And then I also noticed, oh no, she has one of those books with the black leather cover and the gold pages. She's a Jesus freak. I thought, what a waste of a perfectly cute girl. And then I thought, if she's a believer in this, maybe there's something to it. Now, out of sheer curiosity, I went to one of their meetings. They would actually meet out on the front lawn of their high school campus I was going to, and they would have these Bible studies. And so I sat close enough where I could eavesdrop on their conversation, but far enough away where my friends would not think I was joining up. That, of course, would be social suicide. And for the first time, I heard the message of Jesus Christ in a way that I understood. A guy got up and spoke, and I don't remember most of what he said, but I remember one statement when he said, Jesus said, you're either for me or against me. You're with me or you're opposed to me. And I looked around at the Jesus freaks, and I thought, well, they're for him for sure. And I'm not one of them. Does that mean that I'm against him? I mean, I've always believed there was a God. I've always admired Jesus. I've seen all of his movies. But can God be known? Oh, no, that's not possible. Can you have a relationship with Jesus? Oh, there's no way. And then I just tried a new thought on for size. What if, it's not true, of course, but what if the Christians are right? And what if God can be known? And what if God can change me? Oh, you crazy? I said to myself, it won't work for you, Greg. You're too cynical. You're too hard. You've seen the underbelly of life. You know this can't be true. But then I said, yes, but what if it's true? And before I knew it, I went forward and I prayed a prayer and asked Christ to come into my life, and I've never regretted that.